Yo, what's up guys? Jesse Lavelle, welcome back. Today we're going to make a video about my current macro setup. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be discussing what I use to approach my macro photography and get my images. So today we're going to be using the Canon RP body with the small rig cage attached around it. Because I'm using an EF lens, I'm going to use the RF to EF adapter, which is then going to adapt my Canon 100mm f2.8L lens. And on top of that, if I want to go past 1:1, we're then going to use these Kenko extension tubes to get even further magnified and go past 1:1 so we can really get close into our subjects. As far as lighting, which is very important, I'm going to be using the wireless trigger. If by chance my flash isn't far enough away from my wireless trigger where Godok's trigger will not trigger the wireless flash if it's too close to it, then we're going to use the actual hardwire. I'm hoping I don't have to do that. And we're going to be using the Godok's TT685C flash. Past that, I will be using a diffuser system that I have from Godok's that's going to magnify or magnetically cling right to the front. This is just the little bulb diffuser, and then I'm going to hook the bounce card to it so that we can bounce that flash. So let's go ahead and put that all together and show you what it looks like. Alright guys, so since we're dealing with the virus, we're just in my backyard here and we've got a little flower. But what I'm going to do is just show you how this setup works. So basically it's pretty cool. You've got full customization of where your flash is going to go. You know, that arm's going to be able to flex wherever we want. Now the picture I just took that I'll show you, the flash was off to the side. So now we're going to adjust that flash so that it's going to be a little more direct into this flower. And I'm always going to use manual focus most of the time here, so I'm just going to manual focus onto my flower. F10, 1/60th of a second, we're going to shoot. Boom. And I'm going to show you that picture here, and we're going to see how that turned out. Again, we're still a little bit too far off to the side, so let's just going to adjust that flash again. See if we can get it to come from up underneath that flower. And I'm going to try to bounce that flash up into there, and let's see if that gives me anything better. Again, same settings, flash different, and boom, we shoot it again. Hopefully we get a different result. That's beautiful. That time we got that light right into that flower. That's basically how this macro setup works. You've got full adjustment of how long and how far down you're going to be down towards the ground. You got one knob twist away, and you can fully adjust the head here, so you can go ahead and move anywhere you want. Again, you've got manual focus peaking. Your autofocus still works with these extension tubes too, so I can go ahead and flick my autofocus on there. That'll still work for me right there. Boom. So again, I still use stabilization because of how magnified I am using these extension tubes, but most of the time we're using manual focus here. Okay, and once you've got this beast all assembled, you've basically got your upside down tripod that works really well, and you can position it however you want. And then you've got your RP, and one of the great things about the RP body is that it has focus stacking built into it. So instead of me needing a monorail that'll let the camera slide forward, and I've never even used one of those, it has it built right in. So even on this setup that I have here where it's just on a tripod, I can make it autofocus to the most front part of my subject, and I can tell it how many images I want it to stack, and it'll roll right through with the autofocus through the subject for me and snap each one of those pictures, which allows me to really increase the depth of field in a lot of my macro photography. I've just started exploring some of that, so I'm going to put a couple of pictures up that do have focus stacking in them so you can see what I'm talking about. but most of my stuff is just single shots. And a lot of the stuff that you'll see on here, this rig can be used handheld. Now I have one of the extension tubes on here. Which one is it? I have the 36mm extension tube on here right now, in front of the 100mm lens that I then have hooked to the RF to EF adapter. So I've got that all rigged up on here, and then we've got that Godox flash that I talked about that's hooked over on the side here, and that's what's running our light source, because I'm usually shooting at around f10 to maximize my depth of field again. I don't usually go any higher than that because that's where my lens in particular starts to exhibit diffraction, and I start to see some of the softness come into my lens. So f10 is usually my sweet spot. I try to stay around ISO 100 to 400. You shouldn't really need to go too much higher than that as long as you're using your flash correctly. Another big thing is getting that flash off the camera. I think that's a big deal as far as, I mean, especially even with a setup like this, your flash just can't be over you, and you've got a rail in front of you, so you have to get off to the side. But it really makes a big difference in the image quality as well, I think. This flash is high-speed sync enabled, so you can shoot at shutter speeds that are higher than whatever your native shutter sync is. But this one in particular is 1/160th of a second is as fast as I can shoot. As soon as I go to 1/200th of a second, I'm now where I need to be using high-speed sync. Once you use high-speed sync, you can use that to try to get like really fast action, and I have done that and it works good. With mirrorless cameras, sometimes you can get banding. My Godox system has been one of the best systems as far as not getting banding. But the other thing that you have to be aware of is you don't get the flash power that you get, because when you're not in high speed sync, it's just one big burst of light and it can be really bright and really powerful. Whereas as soon as you start doing high-speed sync, it's now doing multiple bursts, and that's going to significantly limit the amount of power you can get out of your flash, so you won't get the same amount of power. So with this particular setup, I'm usually shooting at 1/60th of a second, so I can have the highest shutter speed I can without going into high-speed sync mode. And then I'm usually shooting at f10, and that's where I figure in my mind that I can have the most open depth of field with the least amount of softness being introduced. So I'm getting the sharpest image I can with the most depth of field that I can at the highest shutter speed that I can without going into high speed mode. Now again, sometimes I do use high speed sync with my flash, but most of the time, even when I'm doing like my water droplet shots and stuff like I'm showing you now, that was again all shot at 1/60th of a second. And the you know, what I've seen on a lot of the forums that people talk about is they say that one blast of flash apparently like freezes the action. Now, when I was trying to shoot bees that were in flight, I noticed that was a little bit tougher as far as getting really sharp images, and that's where I started to explore high-speed sync, and that's why I ended up getting this high-speed sync flash. But this setup right here is how I've achieved the images that I take. So I hope this helps you out, guys. I'm going to put links in the description below so that you can check out everything that I got. I got pretty much everything off Amazon that I'm using. Some of the stuff's from local camera stores, but it's all available there on the net. So I hope this video helped you guys. Thanks so much for all of the new subscribers, and I'll catch you on the next one.